Amidst the strict lockdown, Australians have had their very way of life completely uprooted. Forced to isolate from the rest of the world, there are a few select Australians that have successfully adapted to the restrictions. Knowing the importance of these lockdowns, they've made the most of their new normal. They are physically distant, but socially connected. In the early months of 2020, people across the world had to deal with a new threat to human survival: the highly infectious and very deadly coronavirus. When the infection began spreading rapidly, each country had a different response to protect its people. Some installed strict lockdown legislation, some just recommended it. There were countries that closed their borders immediately, and others that pretended the virus wasn't even a threat. But there was one thing that healthcare advisors across the world agreed on: strict social distancing measures to flatten the curve of infection. And so isolation life began.
Like most people, I don't think I really got the severity of it at first. There's only so many video games you can play and Netflix series you can watch before you get bored of being inside all the time. The big hit for me was having to cancel my birthday party. We had planned to go to the pub and just get some drinks, but obviously they were one of the first things to close, so that wasn't happening. On my actual birthday, I ended up going for a walk with one other friend, because that's when the lockdowns were at their most severe. My other friends found out about this and thought it was really sad, so they decided to throw me a birthday party in Minecraft, because that way we could all still be together, but physically be apart. They built a pub in the game, and they put down a cake, and I remember they sang me happy birthday, all crowding around. It was very nerdy, but also very sweet.
So that was our alternative to a public gathering, but what about everyone else's? Australian restrictions quickly went from limiting gatherings to 500 people, to 100, and then basically to none at all. There was no going out to the pub, or to concerts, or sporting events. Everything Australians did recreationally had changed. I think it's clear we would have been worse off had this happened 100, maybe even 50 years ago, but thankfully technology did improve our situation. New technologies have given us the ability to hang out when we're apart, and if you're crafty enough, you can make the digital versions of these gatherings just as good as the real thing. This Australian did just that by moving his weekly trivia sessions online early on in the lockdowns.
My name's Seb, and my trivia hosting history, it sort of run, I don't know, been doing it for about 6 months now, I guess. I started up at a pub up in West Pymble, and I've now been hosting it online for 2 months. The trivia has changed from what it was in a pub to what it is now, in the sense that I wasn't running an online session before, but because we have to social distance and we're not really allowed to see anybody, it's forced me to, I've chosen to make an online version for people to be able to participate at home and partake with their family and their friends in their own home. As far as getting the same experience, I don't think people are getting the same experience. I mean, a quiz is a quiz, but the experience at a pub is slightly different to being in your own home and doing a quiz. People still like them, which is good. I hope that people keep liking them and keep wanting me to do them, and hopefully when this is all over I can get into some pubs and do some more face-to-face stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I think people are still enjoying it, whatever aspects are similar to what they knew before.
Try and keep humans apart and we'll still find out ways to interact, that's for sure. There's more examples than just this one too. Musicians are holding performances over Instagram, and school classes are happening over Zoom. Hell, even some TV shows are still being shot and produced while under quarantine. So, we know Australians have adapted their group gatherings while under ISO, but what about maintaining a relationship? Imagine if you and your significant other were doing just fine together. You were both living your lives and having fun, And then this global pandemic came along and you both lived with vulnerable people, and that meant you weren't allowed to interact with each other for, say, 2 months? It'd suck, right? Well, here's a couple that I know that was forced into doing exactly that.
My name is Yasmin and I'm an ESL teacher, so I teach English as a second language to international students.
My name is Mika and I'm a graduate paramedic. How has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your relationship?
I don't get to see you as much.
We don't get to get Hungry Jacks as much? I don't know.
We can't be in the same car, so we can't do like little
Yes.
spontaneous drives anywhere. How exactly have you changed your relationship to avoid infecting vulnerable family members? Well, both of us live with elderly people, so we both have to be really careful with who we interact with and where we go.
Yeah, I don't know, we just don't see each other really.
How long has it been? Like
A couple months.
6-7 weeks? Yeah. How have you both been maintaining contact when you're apart?
Oh, apart from the stock standard Zoom calls, we've been playing video games together, and that's a nice way to, I don't know, just enjoy each other's company without having
Yeah.
It's comparable to like bowling or going and playing golf or something. It's not on par, like it's not as good as going on a physical date, but you're still there enjoying something together.
Yeah. At least we can still hear each other's voices and like see each other in a call and stuff, but
Laugh and
definitely not the same, yeah.
Enjoy the same things still playing a video game together. Well, apart from that, I mean, there's always Snapchat and Facebook and
Yeah. Video calling on Facebook's my favorite because of the ugly filters.
People still looking for love are in for a good time after ISO breaks, as Tinder messages are reportedly up a whopping 23%. People might finally be able to get to know each other on dating apps for a change. But it's important to remember that it's not just the young relationships that have had to adapt to the lockdowns. This next couple had to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary without doing any of their regular anniversary traditions.
My name's Alex. I'm a PhD student at Western Sydney University.
My name is Tanja.
Tanja is my beautiful wife, stays at home and looks after our 2 crazy kids, particularly at the moment. Doing a lot more of that now, aren't we?
Yes.
How did we meet each other? We didn't answer that question in take 2. How did we meet each other and how long have we been together?
Well, we met at TAFE, both doing a science course, and we've been together 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years, but recently we just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary. What was our wedding anniversary celebration supposed to be?
Well, we're going to have this getaway in the city, staying at the Sheraton, having a lovely dinner at a fine dining restaurant, and then going dancing.
Not very COVID friendly. What changes did we make to our anniversary celebrations?
We stayed home.
Well, yeah, we stayed home. But what did we do? We had to still make it special in some way. So,
So we bought a whole lot of food. Everybody got to buy food, whatever they wanted, and food that we normally don't buy. And we bought these expensive crumpets, these super duper artistic crumpets who were absolute crap. And that's, just have an afternoon, a quiet, cozy afternoon at home and just reflect on the last 10 years.
Yeah, we wanted to invite our kids into it a bit as well, because our original plans didn't have anything to do with the kids. We were going to offload them on people and then go out and enjoy it ourselves, which is usually how it happens. It's usually how it happens, right? But we decided, we'll celebrate our 10th anniversary with them. So we tried to include them, asked them what foods they wanted as well. We put in a big feast, and then the 4 of us just sat around and ate it. We went for a bushwalk. We still got dressed up, didn't we?
Yeah,
we were going to get dressed up.
We made an effort
Yeah.
to get dressed at least.
Yeah. So it was still pretty special. Did we still enjoy ourselves?
Yeah, it was still a special day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was special on a different level, and it will certainly always be remembered as that the anniversary in the year of COVID. So.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I didn't even think about that. A lot of ways, like when you when something really big like that happens, it might like totally upheave all your plans, but it might be one of the more memorable ones.
At this time, it looks as though Australian lockdowns are finally easing. We're hearing news on when pubs and gyms are reopening, and people are finally starting to go back to work. We're being encouraged to travel for holidays, and elderly Australians can worry less about when they leave the house. Unfortunately, it looks like the virus is here to stay. But while it might be an ever-present threat, one thing we know for sure is that as long as we remain adaptable, we can always be connected with each other.